Yo, keep the faith, never lose hope. What's on, faithfuls? And we're live on all major platforms, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And soon we'll have Instagram and hopefully Facebook. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll have that going on for us. So, and we're back with a whole fun-filled episode, of course, the Faithful Empire. And, of course, I'm your boy Ryan. And of course, I got Money Mav, got Nick, the Kingsman. Of course, Ashley. What's up, Ron? And of course, the Hope. What's up, Paul? What's on, fellas? How you guys been?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, man.
I think I can speak to me and Nick and saying that me and Nick are very tired after a long day of playing football. I'm very sunburned. I don't know about you, Nick.
Yeah, dude, can't you see how pink I am?
Yeah, I could see it. I didn't want to point out though. I thought I'd let you do that. But,
This is not a reflection of all the red on screen.
Your blisters, man.
Oh, no, I'm not going to be pulling in Aaron Rodgers and getting my feet out. You're good.
See, we don't have that much sun in the UK, guys. When it does come out, we all get absolutely sunburned and we all get pink and tinged. But Ash, did you take me up on that offer that I sent you? The hoodie offer that I saw?
I have not. No, not yet. I'm thinking about it though. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. It is nice. I did like the hoodie you sent me.
So the sideline hoodies, gents, last season's sideline hoodies, well, the 49 ones have sold out, but one of the major sports retailers over here had a massive sale on. So me being me, anyone who was a fan of the teams that I saw, so I reached out to Ash. So just for the people watching at home, we don't always terrorise the poor lads. The bet's gone viral, which Welsh Nick can explain a bit more, because before you jumped on Ash, telling us. So
no comment. I'm a good boy. My mummy said so.
I am excited now, for real, for real. What? Since they told me that, oh man, can you see the gram?
So apparently, Ash, someone asked Nick today at the football from the other team. Apparently, they'd seen the show and they were asking about the bet. So it's obviously.
Who was it, Nick?
Yeah. I didn't want to say nothing whilst we were at the game, and I won't be saying anything live, so I don't want to go mentioning names. But yeah.
You don't need to know. You don't need to know. Just know it's being talked about amongst your peers out there. Just know that.
They knew.
Can you can you shout out the team they play for then? Because I think that would be appropriate. You can do that. Damn. Okay.
No.
Well, I did a show on Thursday, Ash, and the guy's a New York Jets fan. And he was bigging up his team's chances in the division. And I was like, I'm rooting for the Jets because my Sunday co-host, Ash, has made a bet with my other Sunday co-host. So if the Jets can beat the Patriots, that's going to help our bet. So
No. Oh, it's not looking good for me, is it? I've got quite the army of people hoping that I have to wear, a bloody George Kittle jersey. So, I feel like I'm on my own here, and if I have to stand on that hill on my own, I will. So, yeah.
You're not on your own, man. You got some people back there backing you up. They just don't want to come out the woodworks just yet and say anything. They don't want to put their own foot in their mouth. So that's what
I sure hope so. I sure hope no. But that would be quite rare from Patriots fans to be modest and keep their mouths shut. So, I'll believe it when I see it then, Mav.
Well, moving on, Ash, so we can escape from that. Ron, I notice you've been quite active, buddy, on social media. I've seen some of your tweets. You've generated a bit of discussion points over the last few days.
Social media is crazy, man. I love those folks. They keep me entertained. What else can I say? But some of the stuff you just see on there is crazy. I mean, every day you just wake up to people arguing, fussing, fighting. It's crazy. Some of the takes are fair takes, but some of the trade proposals and some of the thought process behind fans, yikes, man! Like, are you drinking? Are you smoking?
Where did that come from? Like, who started that? That whole Debo trade. Who started that Debo?
It usually, if you trace it back, it usually comes from one guy. It's Grant Cohn. That's where it comes from. It's either
honestly, I don't think he did that one this time. I don't think he did that one this time. Somebody else came up with it.
No, I was able to trace it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he had a fan on, and after the Hill trade broke, a fan had the same proposal for us, and if we would do it or not. And of course, he loves to entertain it. He loves to entertain it. So I think that's where it came from. I'm not sure, but yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me. Doesn't most of the crap from that start with that man?
To be honest, I tend not to jump in on the social media stuff, but on, I think it was Friday or Saturday, I'd seen a faithful had tweeted he was upset that Mr. Kittle hadn't given him a happy birthday tweet. And I'm sorry, gents, but because I got one on my 40th, and it's my pinned tweet, because as a 49er, George Kittle tweeting you was pretty epic. So I was like, I'm gonna have some fun with this. So I screenshot his comment and I was like, oh, I'm really sorry that George doesn't reply to everyone, and my mentions went off the scale.
Wasn't somebody said something about a waving too, and he replied back, "Yeah, I see you. I just decided not to wave back," or something like that.
So basically, Kittle is in, well, say the UK. He's in Ireland. But he's been last few days. He's been at, I think, Alex Mack's wedding. So obviously he's been on our time zone. So some of the tweets he's been doing, like you said, Mav, in response, have been at the same time as us. And because I'm off with my ruptured Achilles, I was just like, oh, this is going to be fun. And I was tweeting out. But that's when I'd seen Ron's tweets. Because to be fair, Ron, you'd asked some pretty sensible questions. And I'd seen, you tagged the show in. And I just was saying before you come on, people are tuning in and watching the Red and Gold 24/7. It's nice to see the interaction between the shows and seeing the social media interaction. I know you're not as active, Ash, because of your job during the day, but it is nice to hear people talking about the bet and they're talking about the show. But yeah, that dude, Mav, he totally was like, George Kittle didn't give me a shout out. I'm not buying his jersey. And it was like, whoa, dude. Really hit me. Probably say trade him next.
I think George replied, didn't he? Said like, yeah, but we're kind of busy in August, man. We're doing stuff, which is fair.
I mean, for us UK fans, Nick, the interaction we see online is pretty epic. You don't get that with the Premier League players. So, like you said, on my 40th, Mav, my missus had bought me the red throwback, and she took a photo of me holding it up, and I tweeted it out more in hope and expectation. Can I get a shout out from Mr. Kittle? So when all he tweets is that happy birthday with your HBD with the emoji. Could be his bloody assistant, his agent, whatever. But when it flashes up and you mentions George Kittle has mentioned you, you're pretty like, yeah, man. So I did have some fun with that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, I think any one of us would be happy if Ronaldo tweeted us right now. We don't even have to be a fan of this sport. It's just that big of an athlete, to be like, hey, what's it? Dude, I am talking to somebody at a professional level in their sport. How many others can really say that have that direct communication, and that's pretty damn cool. That's awesome. And I mean, you saying you guys don't even get that kind of interaction with the Premier guys?
No, definitely not. But it was like this afternoon, Ryan had texted me the time for today's show, and I do a new one on a Thursday called Let's Talk Sport. Dan, the host, has got cerebral palsy. He's trying to grow his channel, and he's had Wayne and Breezy on this afternoon, and they're shouting out the stuff that I do with him, and obviously that means you guys as well. And I'm sure most people know who Breezy is on Twitter, and you think, wow, like I'm just a dude in the UK that's lucky enough to chat to gents like yourselves. So when you see it's on the same channel, and it's like when we do Shank Club as well, isn't it, Welsh Nick? I mean, the people he gets on there, so it's just showing what we're doing. People are watching and taking notice. So
Breezy and I were talking about trying out for the Packers as wide receivers. So he's pretty cool. Pretty cool, dude. I said I got one route. He said I got 3. Let's go.
I mean, the NFL players, they're pretty good with the interaction. In fact, you can see it. It's not just on our team. There's multiples. I know that like Adrian Colbert is incredibly active on social media and is more than happy to chat with anyone. There's some really great people about, and they're more than happy to have a little go.
The thing that gets me is the jerks. You know what I mean? Like, there's some really big jerks, man. And I'm like, dude, I know he tweeted something out about trying out, and some guys just for no reason was just, we have no idea who the hell you are. And I'm like, man, it's free to be nice, dude. Like, do you really have to stop and just be a douchebag? It's crazy.
Manners don't cost anything.
That's what they want to
Right.
do, man.
That's just what they
That's
do.
what they
It's
want to
like,
do, man.
they're just, that's what they do. But I'm just like, that's what gets me. It's like, we can discuss and we can talk on Twitter. I don't do the whole I'm right versus you. Like that's why I just stay mutual. Like, hey, because I have a lot of people messaging me as well, and I'm like, but there's just some people out there to prove you wrong, and they're gonna go and go and go and go, and then it becomes personal, and I'm just like, I follow the thread. I'm like, geez, man, these people, it's crazy.
It's like when we do these shows. I mean,
It reminds.
Sorry, Mav. I was just saying, when we do these shows, we come on and you guys aren't talking over us. You're not shouting at us. You're not shouting our opinion down. And we get it all. I said on last week's show, for the first time ever, I had a hater who tagged me in something, blocked me, and was like, you guys. And you're like, we're just talking football. There's, like you said, Ron, there's no need for the whole screaming and shouting. I mean, I don't know if you guys check out the Twitter spaces. My God, some of them are crazy. And I don't understand why you can't. Why there's going to be times when we do this show where we're going to have a difference of opinion, because all six of us see football in different ways. But that's why we're doing this show. And people are tuning in now and thinking, March the 27th, what are you guys talking about? But it's about building that chemistry, and it's about building that social media interaction. And I've enjoyed this week, Ron. You've put some questions out about the free agency, about the trades, where the team goes. Ash as well. I wouldn't take any notice of the Patriots this season if it wasn't for Ash coming on here and the jokey bet that he's made. But it helps us all grow, and I'm just looking forward to it. But you think there's nothing to talk about, and you just have to go on Twitter, put in NFL. I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of the gifs flying around about Deshaun Watson. He didn't go for the $250 million guaranteed contract, and I was like, think that might have had some reasoning in your decision.
Hey Ash, you want to add something, bud? You want to add something, bud? About that? Look, you're on mute. You're on mute, by the way. You're on mute. Ash, you're on mute.
My bad, sorry.
Right.
The only thing I'd really add to that, I can see you laughing next to stop for a start. The only thing I'd really add to what Paul said is, he's absolutely right in terms about having different opinions. I think that's really important when you're on a podcast like this, because no one wants to hear a bunch of groupthink going, I believe this. Yes, you are right. I believe this, because that doesn't make anything better. That doesn't make anything interesting. So I think it's really good we've all got different opinions. And like Paul said, the only reason he's watching the Patriots is because of me. I think the Niners are slowly becoming my second team because of you guys as well. I actually said to Nick, my girlfriend is into the NFL and really enjoys watching it, but she hasn't got a team. And I've said to Nick, I will try and make her a 49ers fan in respect to you guys. So there we are. So that's my consent. That's sort of my gift to you, I guess you could say. So yeah,
I like it.
She's been watching the podcast as well a little bit.
If she can't listen. No, you know what? I'm not even gonna do that. Because see, I was going to say if she does become a 49ers fan by the time of our bet, you might get away from not wearing that jersey. But then again, I would be taking that joy away from Nick, and I don't want to do that.
Oh, so. I also wear the jersey. Of course, I still wear the jersey. That's the whole fun of it, isn't it? I wouldn't deprive you all of that. That opportunity or that possibility. Then, plus I'm confident I'm going to win, Mav. So it's you that's going to be wearing a jersey. So unless you can provide something to me, then that's still happening. I'm
Did he get a knock on the head today at football, Nick? Did Ash get a knock on the head? Is he in the concussion protocol?
I think he might be.
I think like for real. I'm wondering that for real now, because I mean, you did say contact came in the game with the third game, right? It started contact, cheating, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ash, how'd you feel?
It was very heavy contact. Cheating is a bit of an overstatement, but for me, it was a lot of contact. It was more the second game that I got hit most. I got knocked over a few times by the blitzer. I think he was just trying so hard that he just wasn't looking and ran straight into me a bunch of times. So, but it was all in good spirit anyway. So
I would say Ash arrived with a pretty big head anyway. He rocked up in his Team GB kit. Don't get me wrong, he looked good in it. He did look good, but yeah.
I think I'm.
Okay, you know what? Real quick, since we're talking about that run, help me out. In flag football, how well do you know the rules, or how well do you remember the rules you grew up with?
Pretty well. We did passing leagues, so we were 7-on-7s.
Okay. Is that what you guys do? 7-on-7s?
I was just 5-on-5. 5-on-5. It's IFAF rules. That's international. It's a 70-yard pitch. 20 of those yards being 10-yard end zones. 25 to 30 yards wide. That can vary a little bit. You have to get to the halfway to get a first down. So 4 downs to get halfway, then you get another set of downs. And what's some other key rules? It's a passing league as well. You can run it, but the quarterback's not allowed to run. And the quarterback is defined as the first person that touches the ball after the snap. So there's ways you can get around that rule, but basically the quarterback.
Now, growing up, for me, the quarterback couldn't run unless the running back or some of another player touches the ball, as if like a handoff.
Pretty much.
But another player has the same rule. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much the same rules, really.
Now, Ron, we do have a little contact, right, Ron?
Yeah.
As far as flag football, I could jam you. I could jam you off the line, right?
Yeah,
you
but
I gotta let go.
Jam.
Yep.
In the sort of rules we play with, or the international rules, you can't jam. They're not supposed to allow really any contact, but there's always loads of contact, and they just let it go. Mainly because it's hard to call a foul on two people fighting for the ball. And yeah, so there's a fair bit of contact at times.
What really got me is what Nick said earlier, as if I'm covering you as a DB and I can't come over your back and knock the ball down, that'll be a flag because it's considered some kind of a contact, right? Is what?
In theory, that's a flag. Does it ever get called?
Is that something you remember?
Is another thing.
After another game today. But, in theory, that is a flag, but it never gets called, really. Very rarely the teams or referees call that in our league, Nick, isn't it?
It is. I mean, most of the time, most of that will come when you're both in the air. So then you can give it as, everyone has a right to go for it. But if you're both stood on the deck, you will see that called more often than if you're both in the air.
Yeah. And they're more lenient the higher level.
Behind.
So yeah, the more lenient at higher levels. So the Worlds, for instance, if you watch the final of the Worlds where America played Mexico, they let a lot of contact go in that game. So yeah, but it made it more exciting in my opinion. So it's a rule, but for me it gets pushed aside a lot of the time. So,
I just wanted to ask Ash. Nick said you turned up in full Team GB gear. Now that sounds like something I would definitely do, mate. As you can see, I rock the red and gold. So if I had a team kit, so the question is, why haven't you got that on here tonight, man?
Because it smells of sweat from me wearing it today, so
you can't
it's in the washing basket. So yeah, it's it didn't really get. I think that it got worn a little bit today, but it was a nice day. But I kept it on at the time, so it doesn't smell the greatest right now. And I've just been in the shower, so I'd rather not.
So you guys had a game today or practice?
3 games.
3 games today.
3 games.
Okay. Yeah, they played 3 games, bro.
Damn.
That's a long day.
And came out 2-1.
2-1 finished the day with.
What happened with that loss? What really happened with that loss besides Nick losing his temper, like for real?
So I'm sure you've heard Nick's side of the story. I'll give you mine. I fully believe the other team fully deserved to win. Was the refereeing great? No, not at all. Not at all, in my opinion. At times, no, I say not at all. At times, it wasn't great. There's a little bit of inconsistency, but me and Nick have refed. It's a tough gig. So people make mistakes, and I have a lot of empathy for them, and I have a lot of time for people trying to do that. But the refereeing ultimately for me didn't decide the game. It was our poor play, and that starts with me. I committed the cardinal sin of throwing a deep ball as a quarterback, which is don't overthrow a wide open guy downfield, which I did twice. So it started with me. We dropped a lot of passes as well. We made a few mental errors. So ultimately, it's down to us. The reason we lost the game, and like I said, it starts with me.
Cool, I like that breakdown, guys.
Why can't Jimmy G do some shit like that for real, bro? I mean, this is a Patriots fan.
It starts with me. I like that.
Jesus Christ! That was beautiful, Ashley. That was beautiful, dude. I love that. And look,
Fullback,
I'm not
it's
even a
notice on the
fan of your
fullback.
team like that, but I love it.
In flag as well, he's throwing the ball every
gotta
play.
see
No,
some
it
games,
comes down to me whether we win or not a lot of the time. And no, not if we don't win, no, I gotta look at myself. And that.
Please tell me you guys got some film.
We will have some film.
Nick,
Yeah,
please tell me you guys got some film.
There's some film.
Make me a fan for real. I don't want to be a fan because you guys
Well,
play on the team. No, I'll make me a fan, bro, for real.
Well, Mav,
Oh, we
if
got plenty.
you go on my Twitter, Mav, it won't be of today's game, but there is like a sort of like preseason highlight tape I made on my Twitter that my friend shared, I believe. So if you scroll through my timeline a bit, you'll see it. It's from about a month or so ago.
Okay.
And you won't have to scroll far. But if you scroll by media, you might see it. Yeah. So you might want to mute it as well. There's plenty of copyrighted music.
Well, that's why I got into
I
the game.
wouldn't want Ryan to get copyright striked.
It's why I got into the game, Mav, because Nick shared something last year. He shared he'd caught the ball and then burned someone down the sideline. And obviously, I went to Bristol and watched the Vikings game with Nick, and he was like, "You really need to give this a go." And I was like, "There's no teams in my area," and I was just saying, Ash, the team I've signed for had their first competition yesterday, but obviously with me being injured, they only had 6 players and they didn't do very well. But if you go on Nick's timeline, Mav, Nick has got some videos, and when I injured my finger, I sent the picture of it to Nick, and he was like, "Yeah, you need to go get that sorted." And to be honest, I am keen, if I recover, to get back into it. But Ash, before I move on, that temperament just speaks a lot about you as a character, and you can tell that you carry yourself in every day. And like Mav and Ron said, the way you came on and you were like, "It's on me, I'm the quarterback," and you think, "Wow, that's epic,
I
man."
think we need to reiterate as well. I think I came across a little bit as overly too harsh on the refs. There was just a couple of calls we thought were inconsistent. That's all. I said they weren't good at all. I didn't mean it like that, really. I meant they were a bit inconsistent, in my opinion, anyway. But I've reffed that. I've had people shout in my face. I know it's not nice, so I'm gonna just take my hat off to those guys as well.
It's a bit like when we watched the 49ers. Obviously, at the time when the calls go against us, you're fuming as a fan. But in the cold light of day, hang on, Mav's trying to show us.
What is that?
Oh, I saw this earlier. I saw you shared it, Mav. I was wondering where it was.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's just gone.
Oh, dude.
When
You
I
look
see,
like an
when I
entertainment
see,
my timeline, I'll give you that.
listen, the first thing that popped into my head was like, wow, I wonder who's gonna do that to who, Kyle or John? Who's gonna do that to who? Like for real, get up out of here. It's tough. Like, bruh, seriously. This thing right now with this whole situation at quarterback, you gotta reassure the young kid that he's starting next year just because this guy's still on the team. It's very, very messy to me, in my opinion. It should have never even got that far to be telling someone that I'm going to reassure you that you are starting. I mean, like, what are y'all real thoughts on that, for real?
I'm not sure we know the full detail. The Niners do not leak, so we're suffering a little bit compared to the Balky era when everything got leaked, and we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I mean, I can't say how Trey could possibly have even a bad relationship with Kyle Shanahan because he's getting photographed at gigs with him. If they go into gigs together, you don't go to a gig with someone if you don't like them. So we don't know what's going on in the locker rooms. We don't know what's going on the training pitch. And there's a long. I know we need to be patient. There is so long still to go until the season starts, until the final 53 are announced. Then we can start to get concerned about these things. But you are from the outside looking in, it does look messy.
I was going to say, Nick, you said it last week, 27th of March. You know, they're not training. You've got Kittle, Mac, Juice over an island for a wedding. You've got Shanahan going to a concert with Trey. There's a little bit of smoke and mirrors for me, Mav, and I'm not overly worried. And we all have egos. Us on here, Ryan come on tonight and said, "Oh, by the way, next week, Jason Aponte, Javier Vega, and Breezy are coming on. But don't worry, lads. You'll get rotated in. You know, your opinions still count. Then you think, I'm going to bet on myself for you. Why is he bringing someone else in to replace me? But I think there's an element of clickbait, like we were talking about before, Mav. Like the Debo trade. Someone's mentioned something somewhere, like possibly what we're doing, having a chat about football. Someone's jumped on it and repackaged it. And I think Ron's got 25 picks for Debo before I came on here tonight. Am I right, Ron?
Oh yeah, easily. That's lowballing me still. Give me half of your team for Debo.
I'll never forget when I first came on this podcast. And one of the first questions I was asked about was, what we're packaging something and to do with Jimmy G with someone else to try and get better picks for him in terms of trade. And I remember talking about Debo, suggesting Debo, and Matt went, "Hell no! I want 5 firsts for him." And I was like, "Okay, I understand what I'm dealing with here." I see we have a favorite.
My thing about the whole situation is that I think John Lynch gets a lot of unfair criticism. I think he really does. I think Kyle gets off the hook a lot. And I've said this a million times to the guys. I think my frustration is geared more towards Kyle than it is John. And I think that's where I just kind of like split from the rest of the pack, because a lot of people just fire Lynch. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Kyle should take more accountability, and I think he's left off the hook. That's my thing with the whole situation.
Yeah, I think we've said before, Ron. I think John Lynch was hired after Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is king of the castle. John Lynch was hired by Kyle, not the other way around.
He's the scapegoat. He's the scapegoat. That's just what he is. We all know that he's the fall guy.
It was a great question, but like Welsh Nick said, he sat there looking rather chilled, all cool. It's too soon, man. It's far too soon. And nothing's going to happen with Jimmy before June. So I have strapped myself in. I don't know if you've seen that artist who's drawing the cartoons. She's doing a different cartoon every day until Jimmy is traded.
I follow her, actually. I follow her.
Just enjoy. Yeah. That's what I've said. I'm looking forward to the draft. Looking forward to that. But, I mean, draft night, something may happen, Mav, as in people getting crazy. We've all seen draft day with Kevin Costner. It could be like that in real life. Who knows?
One of my favorite movies, by the way. I watched that movie over and over. I'm probably going to watch it again so we get off it.
Believe it or not, my other half didn't quite understand the draft. And last year, I was like, let's put a movie on. Draft day, and she loves Kevin Costner. So she was like, is it really like that? I was like, yep. It's exactly like that.
It's crazy. It's a headache out there, man. It is a headache. It's like time to push the panic button. But let me move on to this real quick. I don't know who started this whole thing, but we're gonna start off with Ashley on this one. This Wednesday for SI all 49ers, I'm coming out with the cold hard truth. The cold hard truth. The next article is that Trey Lance is not that good on game films. I have to warn you, you will not see him the same after seeing Lance through the eyes of a former NFL scout. How do you feel about that comment? You on mute.
I've muted again. I've done it again. I can't believe this. I need to get better at this podcasting thing. For me, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but I think they devalue the potential he has with some of the physical traits that he has. There were times last year, particularly during the Cardinals game, and at some points during the first half against the Texans, where he looked a little bit jittery, a little bit got happy feet in the pocket a little bit. But I think, as you saw through the more he played, the more he settled in, and I think this goes back to something I've been banging on about now for months. He will come on with time. I don't expect him to set the world on fire next year, but he will get better with more time plays. He needs game time more than anything because he hasn't had a lot of it so far. And over the last 2 years, for that fact, because he only played one game with North Dakota State during the COVID year, so he hasn't played a proper full season of football.
You might as well say 3 years.
Yeah, he hasn't played.
Might as well say 3 years.
Yeah, he hasn't played fully for a while. He hasn't had a lot of game reps. He needs those game reps, and I fully expect him to progress and become a really solid, potentially really great quarterback with more game time. He's going to be raw starting off, particularly when you've only played the amount he has. He didn't play a great deal in college because of COVID. He hasn't played a great deal his first year, but things will come. I think they got to trust what Shanahan's going to do with him. They've got to trust the coach staff and believe that they will develop him then to meet his potential.
What's up, Ron?
Yeah, I agree. So my thing with that is it's just funny how like let's choose to write an article on that one scout's opinion of how he evaluates Trey Lance when there's about 2,000 other scouts who see otherwise. But the guy who negatively views him negatively is the one who gets the article written about his opinion. And I completely agree with what Ashley said. It's there's so much like the sample size for Trey Lance is so small, but his ceiling is so high. And I think that's where scouts go wrong. You see it even in youth sports. Even coaches make that mistake. Like they'll pick a player who's at their ceiling now when they're probably 10 to 12 years old versus the player who's nowhere near their ceiling and who, that player is going to hit that ceiling. They're probably going to peak at 14 or 15 versus a raw talent like Trey Lance who it's endless, you know what I mean? And I think that's where a lot of scouts go wrong. But I agree with him. You won't get better unless you get on and you play the game. And I think that's what happened with Trey. The one thing I will tell you about Trey that did kind of frustrate me a little bit was his velocity on the ball. But I think that really was about nerves more than anything else. But I think as he plays more, that touch is going to start to come.
I think at times for me, he tried to muscle the ball in there, muscle the ball into tight windows a lot of the time, and you could see on the film his ball fell apart a lot. It wasn't rotating a lot. It had a lot of wobble to it. But when he gets comfortable in the pocket and he trusts his reads and doesn't try to muscle things, that ball's going to be coming out a lot more fluidly. And his accuracy is going to go up. His anticipation is going to get better as well when he trusts the reads. He's just going to get better and better, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't expect him to set the world on fire this next year. I'm not going to predict any touchdowns he scores on the ground or through the air, but I expect to see this year, in terms of my expectations, just steady exponential progression from him at the quarterback position.
Yeah, I think what made me nervous with that, though, is that probably at this stage, he should already have that ability to know when to throw touch, and when to just zoom it in there. And it seemed like every single ball he threw when he played was just freaking a million miles an hour. And at times you could, but Kaepernick played that same way, though. Like everything was a freaking cannon.
So did John Elway.
Kaepernick
and John Elway.
Those guys knew how to take the velocity off when they needed to, though. Trey Lance, I feel like he still have to learn that. He still got a baseball pitch going on when he throws the ball.
There was times where I was like, dude, like relax, like chill out on that pass, man. Like you almost broke Debo's finger on that one. But again, I think it was a lot of nerves, I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and give him more time. I want to see more. I haven't seen enough.
The more calm. So the more you're saying, the more relaxed he is, the better you can see him.
Yeah, in football, it's like if the game's got to slow down, and once it slows down for you, man, that's when you're in it. And it seemed like Trey at times asked for him. But again, you're asking a guy who sat out a year to just jump in there and be an NFL quarterback. That's a tough task, and he's only 21. I mean, and he's commanding a huddle with all pros, and you got George Kittle in the huddle. I'm a 21-year-old that just came from an FCS school. That's a lot to take on at one time. So, like Ashley said, I think with time, it's gonna come.
Yeah, to answer your question, Mav, as well.
What about you, Paul?
A year ago, I'd have probably seen that article coming in from work and read it and thought, oh my God, he's a former NFL scout. But Daniel Kelly, the guy who's wrote it, he's been promoting himself long before these articles. He's been in all the NFL UK groups, and he was getting a lot of fire for his take being controversial. And then about 10 days ago, I seen Grant Cohen pushing this guy. He's my new kid. He's going to do this article. And then as soon as it dropped his first article, I thought, it's clickbait. He's done it just to get his name mentioned. And like Ash said, Ashley's take, I like that you asked Ash first, being the non-49er fan, because it's great to hear that. And I was sat along Ash going, yep, I agree. Obviously, your choice of position's quarterback. And I just think, Mav, it was designed just basically to 49ers Twitter, get some clicks, get some likes. And I'm not even going to read the article, because as soon as I knew who it was, it'd be different if, and I want you to take this with all due respect, if you wrote an article, if Ron wrote an article, or if Ash wrote an article and put it out there, I'd think, wow, I respect you guys. I've talked to you guys. I know what you guys are about. I'm going to read that. And then I would take it at face value. And if Ash come on and went, do you know what, Paul? I'm not too sure on that trail lance you've got. I've seen a bit of game film. I've seen a bit of game tape. But you have all said what we're all thinking. He's hardly played. So I'm not worried. What do you make about it, Nick, about the article that Mav's asked about?
I'll be honest, I didn't even know there was an article. I've got the guy blocked. I've no interest in anything he says. None whatsoever. It's clickbait.
Short and sweet there, Nick.
Yeah. Says not really understanding Ron. He's all over the place. Thanks for watching, buddy.
All right. Let me segue from 49ers. Well, actually, no. It still goes back to 49ers because it deals with the bet again, because something Paul wrote after that Tyreek Hill trade, saying somebody was very interested.
What bet?
I'm hoping I understand. I'm just saying, listen, I'm just hoping that I understood before I had to ask Paul what he truly meant by that, saying, yeah, you might have to worry a little bit. Go ahead, Paul. Well, please tell me why does Ash have to worry just because the cheetah is over there now in Miami?
Well,
that's what you were referring to.
Well, it's just they're in divisional rival, aren't they? So that's right. I'm thinking, and is that right?
I mean, in regards to Tyreek Hill going to Miami, though, I'm more than confident that we'll have a game plan for him, and we'll make sure that we force Tua to have to throw. I say Tua force him to throw deep, but my point is that Tua is not the best deep.
Honestly,
he's not going to be able to hit the massive.
Honestly, I feel like you guys need to get. You talking about game planning for Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert, or Jalen Waddle, who are like the three fastest guys in Miami right now. I feel like you need to game plan more for Tua, if anything. Stop him from delivering the ball, because we don't know what McDaniel's going to do with him. McDaniel's might actually have Tua playing like Jimmy G. Quick dump balls down the middle. Let your boys go out and get yaks.
Yeah, I guess. I think Tua is a good quarterback for me at the short and intermediate range. I think he lacks that deep ball. Really, he hasn't got that pure arm strength. For me, I am a little bit worried about it, but I think I don't know. I don't know how to make it. It's hard to gauge for me how much impact.
He's not worried, folks.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried. I mean, as the article said, Trey Lance is going to be awful this year now, and I'm going to be fine. So.
Yes, Ash, I like your deflection. To be fair, Mav, I'm off work at the moment. The ruptured Achilles. I'm taking heavy painkillers, so sometimes my tweets might not make sense. But I'm glad Ash backed me up, because as soon as that trade went down, I have a good friend who supports the Chiefs purely for Tyreek Hill, and we'd done a fantasy draft ball about 2 weeks ago. And his first pick at number 10 was Tyreek Hill. And now he's like, I've wasted a draft pick. And it's just crazy. The news of that broke. I think it was half an hour before I was due to do my show with the Jets fan. And he was texting me saying, we're going to get Tyreek Hill. And I was thinking, he's definitely going to Miami with McDaniel. And 49ers fans watching will know McDaniel is going to try and run the same offense that the 49ers run. So it'll make no surprise he's gone for a fast guy. Because let's face it, Tua, Ash, might not have to throw that ball downfield. There'll be a lot of jet sweeps. There'll be a lot of Tyreek might take some handoffs in the running back position and just hit that gap and be gone.
I'm not going to lie. I don't know if you could tell my voice. I was trying to play
Jalen Waddle. I think Jalen Waddle will be there.
Yeah, it is. It's
I think Jalen.
Go on, man.
I think Jalen Waddle will be the one that takes more of these jet sweeps than Tyreek. He might be the one lined up because he's younger. Yeah, I'm just looking at him being in that Debo position because of his age.
Mav, so you're saying that you think Tua's the guy right now for them? He's gonna. I mean, with the two receivers they have, you think Tua's it?
I
Or you think
mean,
they're
bro,
gonna look to-
McDaniel's done.
I feel like Tua.
Honestly, bro, I really don't know what to think. Yeah, I really don't know what to think because I mean, McDaniel's already pretty much cleared the air saying that Tua's his guy, and we don't know. We've seen him on a staff to where they say one thing and they go and do something totally different. So he might do pull the string for a quarterback.
But I'm asking you though,
and
what
have
do
a younger
you like
quarterback.
Tua or no? Do you think Tua's it?
I've never
You
really
think he's
liked.
the answer right now?
Never,
No.
I never liked Tua.
Yeah, I agree.
Nah,
I think he has a lot of
Bust.
weapons, and
he's a
I think
bust.
yeah.
I don't think
he's a
he
bust.
hasn't got a great deep ball, but I think he's been put in not in a bad situation, but they haven't really given him a lot of opportunity, or they haven't handled his success and failure very well. You know, and remember his first year as well, how many times they benched him for Fitzpatrick at random times of the game,
Same.
to kill his confidence.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing they did with Tannehill. The Dolphins did the same exact thing with Tannehill. They didn't give him that much confidence. They used the same game plan, in and out, in and out. He went to Tennessee. He looked better.
I think what Miami are doing, Miami are being quite clever about it now. They're tooling up and they're saying to Tua, right, you've got now a quality left tackle to protect you from one side. You've got all the weapons in the world you could wish for as an NFL quarterback. You don't succeed this year, you're gone. Because then we can we're going to go out, we're going to get someone decent, and then we're going to plug them into this system. And then the Miami are going to be a team to actually fear.
I say this. Tua is the Jimmy G of the Dolphins this year because they will get a quarterback, even if it's late in the draft. I believe McDaniels want him someone that he can groom himself. So I'm looking at Tua as the Jimmy G of the Dolphins this year. Just a bridge quarterback. Use him.
From Jimmy.
Oh.
I think Tua's a bust. Have done since he entered the league.
I take Tua over Jimmy G, I'll be honest.
Whoa.
I do. I think he's a bust. I don't think he's going to succeed. I think next year you're going to see a whole new quarterback playing for the Miami Dolphins, and they will be a quality outfit next year.
I believe I know why Ashley said he would take Tua over Jimmy. That's the reason why I would take Tua, just because the age. I can make excuses for his mistakes. Jimmy, I can't. He's just old enough. He's been in the league enough, and he's been behind Oak for like 4 years. So therefore, Tua's case, he's had change of offensive coordinator. And how many head coaches he's had since he's been in the league? 2? Or did
who, Tua?
Brian Flores drafted him. Yeah.
I think Brian.
Did Brian draft him?
Yeah, I think so. It's more the fact that Brian Flores is just not giving him the confidence to succeed, really. Like Brian Flores truly viewed it as, you know, how can I best help this team win in the short term, rather than going, okay, what's going to be best for the long term and developing our franchise quarterback. And, you know, that I think that has been detrimental to his development to a significant extent, really. And I think now someone who's coming in and going, right, you're my guy for this year. I'm going to tool up. I'm going to give you everything you need, is what Tua needs more than anything.
That's a big boost.
I think
that's a big boost of confidence. I agree with you on that.
It's going to be a make it or break it year for him, but I expect him to take a significant step this year. That will be my statement.
And that's why I call him the Jimmy G of the Dolphins. That's why, because I feel like he's going to be utilized like that, except with a little bit more to his game, while Jimmy stays at a level.
Well, we said it, Mav. We said it when McDaniel was on the plane flying over, and they released that video of him on the phone to Tua. And like Ash said, what more confidence can you get? We brought this guy in. He's the head coach. He's phoning you. Because let's face it, the NFL's great. Hard knocks, stuff they release on social media. Welsh Nick said the 49ers don't leak. So the Dolphins didn't do that by accident. They weren't just filming their head coach onto Tua. And let's face it, he's got all the weapons. So to go back to your original question, that's when the news broke. I sent my tweet to Ash because let's face it, when you made that bet a few weeks ago, if you'd said to Ash, "Oh, Tyreek Hill will be playing for the Dolphins, mate," when we're making that bet, he'd have been like, "Are you joking me?" And even funnier, when you look at the draft picks, the Jets were only going to give away, well, I say only going to give away, the Jets were told a certain price, which was a lot less than what the Dolphins paid. But it's going to be fun watching. It's just interesting seeing all the AFC teams taking all these players over. The NFC going to do any trades.
So in other words, Paul, what you're saying is that the Dolphins are going out for a wide receiver, at least 2. I mean, not the Dolphins. I'm sorry, the Jets. The Jets.
Well, I said, I do a show on a Thursday with a Jets fan, and he's very confident in his chances. So I was chuckling last Thursday thinking, well, if the Dolphins, the Jets, actually finishing third, and when the Niners win our division, and then when we go on and win the Super Bowl anyway, it's a bit of a moot point, like Joey would say on Friends. So, you know, you watched it here first, folks. 27th of March, 49ers are winning the Super Bowl. What more can I say?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys seen this, but I don't know if you guys seen this, but we're gonna stay in the AFC East for a minute. I came across a tweet earlier saying something about I would love to play with my brother, and that is supposedly Stephon talking about his little brother. Yeah, and then in Dallas, and I seen Josh Allen tweeted saying no, you know, that would that help these chances if Stephon was to leave, or would it just make it worse by updating re-signing Emmanuel Sanders, and you got Isaiah McKenzie over there who's in up and up, or Gabriel Davis? I mean, would that make that receiving core a little bit more lethal because those guys want to play a little harder, or what?
For me, I mean, it's just if he goes, it's brilliant for me. I really hope Stephon Diggs goes to Dallas, and I will be very happy. I don't care about pushing other guys to get better. If he goes, my chances go up significantly. No, I mean, I'm fairly confident already, and that would just make my day. That would, if I heard that information and that actually manifested into reality. Like, I don't think it's going to happen there realistically. Not at least this year, anyway. But
I did have a request for Mav.
But I mean, even if Stephon leaves,
Mav, I had a request, I think, to make it interesting between shows. And so me, Ron, Nick, and Ryan don't need to tweet. I think you need to throw in a few WWE style trash talking videos.
Can I have can we have intro music then?
I can do it.
What's up, Tony?
Hey, man.
What's up, buddy? What's going on, guys?
Tony, what up, man?
What's going on?
And no, I did not invite him in. I did not invite him in. He wanted to come in himself. So, thank you, Tony. Thank you, bud.
Yeah, no problem.
What did we say, Tony?
Tony got to say? Tony got the insight. Tony got the insight.
Oh, filling up.
What's up, Drew?
Oh,
and I speak on what I speak.
That's actually rather convenient for me because I actually need to shoot off now. I'll get some stuff done tomorrow.
All right, buddy.
I did.
If that's okay, boys.
It's okay, Ash. Okay, bud.
I think
I'll catch you next week. I'll catch you next week in a hotel room somewhere in Manchester. I'll be at the Great Britain camp, but I'll catch you all soon, guys. Okay.
All right.
Good luck at Team GB.
Yeah, bud. Love you, man. Later, man.
See you soon, dude. See you out, mate.
All right. You know what?
I missed the fun.
Ryan, do me a favor. Go down to the last comment real quick, man, because this right here for Tony. I want to hear what Tony got to say about this last.
There you go, Tony. It's all you, my brother.
Yeah.
He is staying until he's healthy. No shit. Yeah, that's pretty much the way it is. He's staying until he's healthy, and then that's it. He's done. He's not going to be on this roster. There's no way in hell. The door's closed. It's it. It's done. Trey Lance is the quarterback going forward, and if it's not, if they decide to come back with Jimmy, then they gotta explain. They better have a legit explanation for this, because you don't invest in what you did in Trey Lance. They put him on the field twice, 2.5 games he had of playing time. And if you look at it from Arizona to the Texans, he improved the whole way. So that's what you want to see from a quarterback. And, Jimmy's on. I'm sorry.
I just seen that too myself. I thought this was a joke, but y'all all talking like this is a serious thing. Why are we keeping him till he's healthy? Like it makes no sense right now.
He won't pass a medical.
It's the business end of it, right? It's about the money. So they could cut him right now, and they get $18 million. Yeah, that's good, but let's look at
what's to say that he comes back, he gets healthy, he does like a little workout or something, and they say, why not give him another year? What's to say that won't happen?
I don't think that
right.
That's not going to happen.
Look, I've been telling y'all this for like the last couple of weeks. I am not convinced of him really getting rid of Jimmy. I'm not convinced. You keep him around for some reason.
Drew, before you continue, man, first off, you got to remember, Jimmy is not going to restructure his contract, but because of the way he's playing right now with your boy Don Yee, he's not going to restructure that contract to stay with the Niners, point blank. You're going to either have to pay him or you're going to have to let him go. That's how I feel. But at the same time, I feel like if you just let him go, this whole season has already been a waste anyways, because I feel like he should have already been gone. He should have got traded draft night, and that didn't happen. All that crap you talking about, I'm finna play him to draft his boost up his stock. First off, teams already have seen him. There's no way in hell you're gonna keep boosting up his stock after you done played for 4 years. People already see what you do.
But I feel like that's what they're doing again. Because now you're like, I'm gonna keep him healthy
and just give you whatever.
But now they're like, I'm gonna keep him healthy until he's up to a value again. So now we're waiting again for a value.
What I think is going to happen is this is like, obviously you have to talk him up to try to trade him, right? You have to say, oh, we're willing to keep him here. Oh, we're willing to work with him. Oh, when he's healthy, he's still going to be here. Because if you just flat out say, that's it, we're moving on from Jimmy, there's no trade value, right? And the situation that is holding the Niners, he's holding the Niners hostage is one of two things. And if you look at it, is number one, it's that injury guarantee of 7.5, right? So they can cut him right now. They get $18 million back. There's no high-end free agents anymore left in the free agent market, minus Tyrann Mathieu. But I don't think they're going to go that route. But other than that, like the Chandler Jones is gone. Like all the big-name guys are gone. So I do think they're gonna stand pat with this until he clears. And the minute he passes that physical, they'll try to make a call, see if someone's interested, if they can trade for him. If not, they don't get nothing. He's gone, because there's a stipulation to his deal. The Niners could come now, and then if he signs with another team, and he makes more than $7.5 million in this year, the Niners get the $7.5 million back. But if he signs with a team and they say, listen, Jimmy, we're going to give you $5 million, well, he keeps the 7.5 plus the $5 million, and there's $12.5 million. So the Niners have to be smart on the business end of it now and say, screw that, pass his physical, and then we get $25.5 million back. And we wash our hands clean and clear of Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's no longer a part of the 49ers franchise anymore.
But so here's the thing, though. Excuse me. So where does he go? I mean, how many teams have open quarterback positions still available?
Are you talking about a trade or if he's a free agent?
So yeah. So here's the thing. So if he's traded, where can we trade him to that still has an open quarterback spot?
Wherever he's going, he's gonna have to be a backup.
Right. So if we release him, then at that point, that's Jimmy's problem where he goes.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, hold on. The fact that you said this, Ryan, I don't think he was here. Me, Ryan, and Mav just talked about this because I said that. I said the fact that everybody's picking up quarterbacks, and then you got people who's looking in the draft. You got so many teams looking at Malik, looking at Pickett, and I'm like, so the thing is, the fact that you waited this long, a trade didn't happen, and now you're like, he's going to be a backup. He has no option but to be a backup now, so he just messed himself over.
He did. So he tried to beat us, and now at this point, there's nowhere left for him to start. Where does he start now?
I don't think he has a starting spot unless there's an injury. Unless they hold him, all the way to training camp and someone goes down, which I don't think they're gonna, but if they hold him up to that point, they can trade him then. But if they cut him once he passes the physical, like I think they're going to do, because you have to listen. $7.5 million is a lot of money, right? You could roll that into next year. That whole $25.5 million, roll it right into 2023. And I don't know if you guys looked at the free agent list in 2023, but and they can use that money and go after another big name player and just using free agency to fit pieces that you're not too confident the draft is, right? Cornerback, they went after Travarius West. They gave him a fair deal. There's an out. They protected themselves. It's a smart move by them. But I will tell you this. I've been a Niner fan my whole life. I've been a Jimmy Garoppolo fan, if you will, since they traded for him. I've never, ever seen Jimmy Garoppolo do a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's getting money from doing that, right? So he's making himself money to supplement this year. So that's why they can't cut him now, because the way this guy's going to work it. Yeah, your first year deal, if he signs with, let's just say, the Houston Texans, right? They're going to bring him in to compete with Davis Mills. They're going to sign him to a 2-year deal, but that first year I will put $1 million on it. I don't even have it, but I'll put $1 million on it, saying that first year is going to be way under $7.5 million. So he keeps the 7.5 from San Francisco, whatever the Texans give him, and that's it. And then next year, he could opt out. Whatever happens, if he takes over the Texans, he takes over the Texans, or whatever happens. They just need to get this guy healthy and get him the hell out of here, because it's becoming a distraction.
You saying
his best bet is the Texans?
No, I just use the Texans as an example, because they do have
a need for a quarterback.
Dude, they're going with Davis Mills, bro. I
think they're really high on Davis Mills, and the only reason why I brought up the Texans is because of Nick Caserio was in New England when they drafted him. That is the only reason why I brought up the Texans. I do think
makes sense. All right.
So I think that's the dilemma, though. No matter where we trade him to, he's going to be another distraction for another franchise.
He's a backup.
Everybody already has. That's not right. That's not our problem. However, it's hard. It's hard to trade somebody.
No.
It's hard.
Check this out. You saying it's going to be a distraction, right? But Panama just said something about the Eagles. I feel like that'll be the biggest distraction in the NFL.
Anywhere
as
he
far
goes.
as just Jimmy going to anybody else, because anyway he has to compete. He has to compete now. He's not only way to get a starting job is if they hand it to him from day one.
Or
I don't think Jimmy can actually go out and beat any quarterback.
So if we hold, here's my thought process. So, correct me if I'm wrong. If we hold on to him, we have to hold on to him until 1, someone gets injured, or 2, someone sits down with Jimmy and says, wherever it is that we send you, you're going to have to compete for that starting position.
It's going to be.
Let me ask you. He said that any place
he knows that. He knows that already.
Oh, okay. So you said any place he goes to. Don't forget, one of his options was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's quarterback situation still ain't it.
But I think Pittsburgh's looking for a draft.
Right?
What Jimmy knows and what Jimmy
Pittsburgh's looking for a draft. You're right.
Yeah. Listen,
hey guys,
they don't already sign Trubisky. They're gonna go out and get Malik.
Maverick, hold on one second. Just so you know, I'm gonna introduce, of course, Tony to Nick Walsh, and of course, I'm gonna introduce you guys to them. Okay. Now, I know you guys want to say something, Nick Walsh. You guys want to say something over there?
No, good.
No, Paul, say something.
I was just going to say, Tony, you raised a very good point about the Jimmy keeping the 7.5 and then getting, say, about 5. And I've had that conversation with fans over here in the UK. You've probably picked up on my accent, Tony. I just want to say, first time being on a show, dude. I've seen you on other shows, so it's great to have you join us. But you've raised a very good point there. We cut Jimmy. He gets his 7.5 from us. Another team comes along and says, there's $6 million, mate. And I think people are forgetting that. So for me, it's a business decision. You'll have noticed a quick change. I had the Jimmy jersey on, a wind Ash up, who jumped off. And then Drew and yourself jumped on, and I thought, this isn't a good look for the UK dude with a Jimmy jersey on. You've totally missed the first hour of the show. So I thought, I better get James back.
Oh, it's all good, buddy. It's all good.
It's real funny that you guys manage that money, man. They
have to
mention that because I said something about cutting. Go ahead.
It comes down to this. They just need to get him healthy and get him the hell out of here. That's it. Jimmy Garoppolo is done in San Francisco. And, looking back at it, like how New England unloaded him to us, if you go back to the history and like once the deal was made, like, listen, I'm like every other Niner fan. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I'll speak for myself. I was excited. I was like, wow, this could be a potential franchise quarterback. This could solidify all problems. And it was only for a second-round pick. And I was just like, holy shit, this is great. Yep. But then you start hearing like reports trickling out of New England. Like the Bennett brothers flat called him a bitch. Like he's a soft ass, he's a bitch, he's a crybaby. And then like you heard the report of Tom Brady skipping over Belichick. Mm-hmm. Now Bill Belichick skipping over him, going right to Robert Kraft and telling him you're at an hour. So I can say telling Robert Kraft to get him the fuck out of here. Meaning Jimmy Garoppolo. That tells you something. That tells you something about the person and what the person's like in the locker room. Now, by all means, I'm not saying he's detrimental or he's like causing ruckus in the locker room for the 49ers. I don't think it's that, but I do think he's trying to get these guys with him, like the Kittles, like you know what I'm saying? You see,
I know exactly what you're saying. He's very good at politics. Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, all right, that's it. Get healthy. You give me the money. You screwed us with the shoulder surgery, and see you later. Go do what you got to do. You want to go sign with the Jets, the Giants, you want to go sign with the Seahawks? Go. Please, just get out of this locker room. This is Trey Lance's team now, right? You have Ayuk working out every day in Los Angeles with Trey. Debo's getting ready, like Kittle. Like, that's it, man. It's time for this team to take advantage of a rookie contract, and let's move forward. Let's get this team up and running. Let's work on this roster, hit the draft, fill your needs, go into 2022, and just play ball, man. Let this kid play.
Agreed.
One thing that may be overlooked, Tony, is the fact that we kept Jimmy last year. George hasn't got the excuse no more of saying, you got rid of my buddy. I didn't know what this kid's all about. They've seen him for a year. And like you've said, they've raised some good point about the locker room. I've seen Ayuk working out with Trey. You've seen Kittle answer questions. So I don't think there's any issues about the locker room mutiny or, not getting behind Trey. And it's just March the 27th, Tony. We're all sick of talking about Jimmy and Trey.
I'm one of them. Another thing is, like, I just want to point out, like being here in the States, you have access. I mean, you have social media, obviously, but like I had a buddy who happened to be at Las Vegas, and he was at the it's called the Encore Beach Club or the pool club. And the day he happened to be there, he was 6 cabanas over from when, I don't know if you guys saw the video circulate on Twitter with George Kittle, how he went to the Encore Pool Club and he took like all tight ends, all 49ers with him. Trey Sermon was there. Trey Lance was there, but somebody wasn't there. It was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Nope. Mm-hmm.
So I kind of get the vibe that when Kittle defends Jimmy, I think he's doing it because he's a leader on the team. B, he wears the C on the shirt, and D, I skipped B. Damn, whatever. My point, I'm bad. I'm sorry. So, my point being is he's the leader and he has to be politically correct and professional. On how he says things, right? And all these guys pretty much say the same thing. But the one thing that did scare me during this process is when the Niners needed to get under the cap, they restructured Armstead and Kittle, 2 vocal supporters of Jimmy. And I was just like, wait a second. They are kicking money down the line, pushing money down the line to further, like, defer till next year and the year after to retain a quarterback who's injured, who's no longer in the plans of this team. And that's what pissed me off. Like, if you were going to tell me Jimmy was off the roster, they had $5 million in cap space, and they needed to restructure 2 deals to get approximately another $15 million to bring in a Chandler Jones, I'd be like, yo, man, you pair Jones, you pair Bosa with that defensive line, we're golden. It's a significant upgrade. We addressed the corner position. Listen, I'm golden. Go with it. Do it. But not to keep this guy on the roster. And then the whole physical thing, and that's
the restructuring didn't piss me off. The restructuring didn't piss me off. What pissed me off was when Lynch actually said that in an interview that they already had a plan to retain Jimmy up to next year if needed be. That statement right there kind of pissed me off. So the restructuring, when I seen it happening, I already figured out why it was happening. We had to get under the salary cap by a certain date.
Yeah. But here's the catch, Matt. If you're trying to move this guy, if you're trying to move Jimmy, and you sit there and say, I got Trey, this is the last year for Jimmy Garoppolo, we have offers on the table. Listen to me. No one's giving 2 second-rounders for Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm sorry. No one is doing it. It's a question of the system. It's a question of a coach hiding his deficiencies. And it's a question of the league knows his weakness. They know how to take him away. They know how to stop him, right? So there's no team investing 2 second-rounders when you just have the Colts invest – I'm sorry, the Commanders invested 2 third-rounders in Wentz with a bigger contract and a more guaranteed, like 3 years of that contract at $28 million a year. And then you just had the Colts trade a 3rd-round pick for Matt Ryan, who is better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and with an even bigger contract. So what I'm trying to say is
the best thing right now is a third. The best thing is a third.
I don't even think it's a third. I don't. If you
hold on real quick.
And you legit watch every 49er game and you watch the dynamics of the offense, the majority of his passes are anywhere between 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage to 6 yards down the field. If I'm a general manager, there's no way in hell I'm trading 2 second-round picks, a 1st-round pick, whatever. I'm not making a trade and then carrying a $25 million price tag with it. It just doesn't line up financially for me and what I'm looking for. Do you feel in your head he's the future outside of a Shanahan offense? I don't. I don't. I think Kyle's the reason why he has that winning record. I do.
Right. That's why.
Hey, Nick, did you want to go, bud? You say you had to go, right?
Yeah, man, I've got to go. I do. I've only stayed as long as I have. It's because I've been really enjoying listening to Tony here, to be honest.
All right, Nick.
No problem, Nick.
Have a good one, guys. Right? I got to go ice my old ass legs.
I know, right? Tony needs to come on a little quicker, don't he? Tony needs to come on a little earlier now, don't he?
Yeah, I think so, man. Off this week, man.
All right, have a good one, guys.
No
See you soon.
Have a good one, bud.
Tony, so then at that point, that means that the number of destinations for Jimmy Garoppolo is like slim to none, right?
What's that? I'm sorry.
So that means that like the amount of teams that would be interested in him are like slim to none, right?
For a trade, yes, correct.
For a trade. So do we have to come to terms with the fact that if we hold on to him and hope for a trade, then we're going to hold on to him probably into training camp and probably into the season until somebody gets hurt. Unless they release
I don't think he'll make it past preseason.
If they think that they really legit have a deal, if they feel that there's a way to unload him and get compensation, I think they will hold on to him. But reading the market and reading what's going on, I mean, I can't predict injuries, and nor would I want to. But
right, me personally, I would just cut ties because what are you getting back in return, right? And we can take this back.
Those stipulations.
Go ahead, Matt.
I say we stop making those speculations right now because, I mean, we've already been told that June 1st is the deadline. He will no longer be on the team by that date. We already know that. So, I mean, what is the best conclusion that we can come to at this moment?
He just has to get healthy and pass a physical. He just has to get healthy and pass a physical. That's it. That's it. Once that happens, it can happen tomorrow. It could happen 3 weeks from now. It could happen a month from now.
Tony, that's out to you, Tony. That's out to you, Tony.
Yeah, I wish I could. Believe me.
I agree with you, Pete. I'm for real.
Do you not think, Mav, that
the new GM
conversation, Mav, do you not think part of this conversation, though, gents, is the fact that Jimmy stood up in that press conference and pretty much said goodbye, and we're all still suffering a bit? Like, it seemed as if there was something already set up, whether, you know, he came to the press conference and said, thanks, everyone, I'm going, and then we've all just continued this never-ending story. And like Tony said, every time a different QB jumped off the carousel, and you just thought, oh my God, what's going on here? So,
well, you want to know my honest opinion on what happened with this whole situation? I'm going to tell you. He got hurt with the thumb, right? The thumb. I rewatched the NFC Championship game today, and I seen him several times doing this to get the snap.
That thumb was fine, right? There was nothing wrong with it.
Okay, so then he's giving handoffs with his right hand. He's doing it. He's throwing with his right hand, and something clicked today in my head. And I went back in my head to just sit out. I was doing laundry, and I'm like, wait a second. If you think about it, Don Yee announced on the first day of the combine, I don't remember the date off the top of my head, that Jimmy Garoppolo was having surgery. He announced the first day. Now, the combine is like the legal tampering period. It starts like, you know, all general managers are there, all agents are there. They're talking. And what I think happened was the way the 49ers operate is obviously you're allowed to negotiate a trade before the new year, but it's not official until the first day of the new season, right? So what they did was, and they did this with DeForest Buckner, they told his agent, Steve Siegel, go find me a trade. I'm not coming up to $22 million, $23 million a year for a defensive tackle, whatever the number was, 24. So it's not a part of our plan. So go find your client a trade, come back with me with the compensation, you negotiate your contract, and I'll tell you if it's a deal or not. I think Don Yee shopped Jimmy around the league and didn't get any biters and didn't get any suitors. And if they did get suitors, it wasn't for what they imagined it would be in return. That's number one. And number two, we all know Don Yee. How does he make money? Off of a new contract. They tried probably. I honestly think Washington made an offer and Jimmy's team vetoed it because they don't want to go to Washington. That's my opinion. I think that was the one spot. If he was going anywhere, it was there from the start, before all the dominoes started falling. So, with that being said, I do think that he wasn't getting the number that he wanted for his client, meaning his yearly salary. So he could have approached, who was it? Who needed a quarterback before all this shit happened? Damn, give me a team.
Everybody.
Cleveland.
You talking about this whole?
Yeah, before the offseason started, before anything of this shit started, they're allowed to shop their clients, right? Agent to team. That's it, right? Because we all witnessed when Harbaugh committed to Kaepernick, they traded him way before the new league year started. It's just not official. Yeah. The same thing last year with Stafford. So, with that being said,
I think they shot them to Carolina too, didn't they?
It probably, but the return wasn't what the 49ers were willing to take. And I don't think Don Yee was getting the average per year in a contract extension. So then what do you do? On the first day of the biggest event in the NFL offseason, you announce your client's having surgery. So what does that do? It screws the Niners in getting anything back.
And it's not even surgery on the thumb neither.
No thumb surgery
for what we were told either. It's for something totally different.
It's for his shoulder, and no. What was I gonna say? I just lost my train of thought. They weren't getting the return that they wanted, so they dropped the bomb like this. And then Don Yee said, "Okay, well, if I can't get this through a trade because they don't want to take your contract and we can't negotiate an extension, I want my client cut. He's having surgery. Bang. First day of the combine, it's out. John Lynch is sitting in an interview with Peter Schrager looking like he has 12 heads on his shoulder. Like, what? And that's when he came out and responded immediately saying, well, we have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C that could potentially keep Jimmy on this roster if we need to, but it will hamper our opportunities in free agency, or curtail was the word he used. So that's what went down. The market wasn't there on a contract side nor a trade side. So this is what he had to do. He got his client $7.5 million guaranteed if the 49ers wanted to cut him immediately. And then, his commercials, whatever, and then he finds a backup job. He comes and competes, and then he goes into 2023, a free agent, and he can pick his location at that time. But the problem is it's all bullshit, and I can pretty much speak for every 49er fan here. Let's move on, man. Jimmy's done. He's not here. We got Trey. Let's rock with Trey, and that's it.
Which is what he always does, though. Yes, applaud. For real. Which is what he always does, though. Whenever Jimmy has a bad game, injury. When he couldn't find a team for Jimmy, injury. So that's my thing. I think release is more likely the probability right now because, like you said, Jimmy still thinks he's a starter, and there's not a lot of open starter positions left. So, one, they're going to have to come to terms with the fact that he's going to have to go compete or be a backup, or two, we just got to let him go. And at that point, that's Jimmy's problem. See ya.
You're 100% right.
I mean, let me ask you this question, though, Ron. Let me ask you this question for real. For real. You say that Jimmy still think that he's a starter. Is it Jimmy that believes that he's still a starter, or is it the people around him that's making him believe that that's what he deserved to be?
It's a combination of both. I clearly
see something different.
Don Yee wants starter money,
but he don't even look like
Jimmy thinks he's a starter. Dude, if you pay attention to how Jimmy speaks, he 100% believes he's a winner. He hangs on his win-loss record. He believes he's a starter. And two, of course, Don Yee supports it. He wants starter money. So they still want they're in the ballpark range of about 20 to 25 million still for him to get paid. That's where it gets tough. And it makes no sense for us to hold on to him because these guys are viewing him in a different light than we are. And that's why it's heading for a crash course to just let the guy go and let that be their problem at that point. Then they can choose where they want to go. But if we hold on to him,
that's been my argument with my buddy all season long with Jimmy G. And when I tell him, when I'm sitting here trying to dissect Jimmy G's flaws, the first thing he tells me is, isn't he a winner? Oh, you just like to lose. He's a winner. Me personally, I do not judge a quarterback based on win-loss status. It's all about their stats. Because, Dan Marino never had a freaking ring. He got close, but he don't have one. But to me, he's one of the greatest freaking quarterbacks who's ever played the game because of his stats. What he has done for the organization. He has kept an organization relevant. That's a legend to me. But when you come in and you start to be like, oh, who did we have before Jimmy? Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard. Hell, I feel like Nick Mullins is better than freaking Jimmy G. I feel like he was trying to take shots down the field. Jimmy is not trying to take no shots. I feel like, dude, come on. You got somebody like Tyrod Taylor to go in, or Jacoby Brissett. I'm sorry. He had like a cracked ribs or something like that when Jimmy was hurt as well. And he went in.
That's what makes the situation more complicated because when you're negotiating a contract, Don Yee's going to point towards performance. And there's quarterbacks that Jimmy ranks higher in on the performance chart or in the QB rankings, like Jared Goff. Who else? There's a couple of quarterbacks that are getting paid more than Jimmy that he's outperformed. That's why it becomes more complicated for the 49ers because they're trying to get paid like a top 12 quarterback that he is. And other teams are saying, nah, bro, he's not a top 12 guy. You can point at the stats all we want. This guy's a dink and dunker. No, we're not going to give you what you're asking for. That's why it makes sense. Just you didn't get what you were asking for. Time to let him go.
Before that whole Deshaun Watson debacle, I told you guys, watch, it's gonna be some dominoes to fall before we can even get to Jimmy G. We talked about Aaron Rodgers. We already knew about Russell Wilson. I kept saying something about Deshaun Watson, and a couple of you guys disagree with me on that until he was cleared of all little supposedly cleared of little charges and everything.
Now
Now
that was me. Go ahead, just say it, brother. You was right.
I'm just saying, like it just you can see it. You can see the picture unfolding after Deshaun. Who did we have next? Matt Ryan, was it after Deshaun, right?
Yeah,
I think Ryan's trying to tell us something. What's up, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm trying. I didn't want to interrupt Mav. So Tony, I knew you got to go. So go ahead, buddy. Do your thing, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Man.
I
Thanks
guess
for coming in.
fellas, it's a pleasure talking. I promise I'm gonna come back on again. It's just my work schedule's been a little crazy lately.
Got you.
They want
Please do, brother.
toy
Understand
around,
it.
but
All
I'll
good.
keep in touch with Ryan and I'll jump on whenever I could. All right.
No problem, bud. Thank you, Tony.
Fun
Man.
talking football, Niners football, and thanks for having me on.
Remember, MBN general manager. Come on, you gotta remember that now. Come on.
I'm
You
not
gotta
a
remember
general
that,
manager.
man.
Oh, come on.
Yes, you are.
I wish
Yes,
I
you
was.
are.
I'll tell you what. I wish I was.
Hey, you got my vote, Tony. You got my vote, bro.
All right, fellas. Have a good one.
All right, man.
Shout out to Niners, baby. Shout out to Niners. There you go, guys.
But I mean, you know, we clearly seen the picture when we seen all these dominoes fall, and we knew Jimmy was not gonna get traded no time soon. And then Jameis Winston getting re-signed. I mean, we should have known something right there, right? Or I mean, when did y'all first notice it? Because I mean, I've been calling it since before the whole thing happened. So when did y'all start really like notice that Jimmy was not going nowhere anytime soon?
I've been told y'all. I said it, and I said it loud and proud. I said, look, this man is not going nowhere. When I started hearing John Lynch talk stuff, and I was like, all right. Then they was making up, oh, we got 2 trades, and we got 2 draft picks for a second round. Like, bro, ain't nobody trying to get no second round for Jimmy. That costs us value. That means he actually did something. And this man ain't do nothing to be 2 second rounders, and everybody knew that was a lie. Then all of a sudden, now we get the, I want to keep him to a heel. I swear this is how it started off was I want to keep him to a trade value you can go up, and then we'll trade him during the trade deadline. Didn't happen. So now here we are again. Let's get him to where he can heal and see what he's worth. For what? Let this man go, please.
To answer your question, Mav, I have a fan, Drew, who's a Washington Commanders fan, and he came to the Super Bowl meetup with me that we have, and he was like, oh, man, we're going to take Jimmy. And I was like, yes, please, yes, please. And as soon as Carson Wentz went to the Commanders and his full contract went over, I think I said it on the show, Mav, last week. I was like, there's no way Jimmy's going if that's going. And then every other quarterback started going. And it was like you said, Drew, just get rid of him. What's the point of keeping hold of him? We're not going to get anything back now. So
nothing.
Paul, don't get me started. Don't get me started, Paul. Don't get me started.
Just like Tony said, man. Okay, I said this to somebody that cutting Jimmy G would probably be worse than us keeping him on the team. For the simple fact that we're not getting nothing back from him. And then Tony just confirmed and pretty much made my point when he said the 7.5 plus an extra 5, though. Like we're actually losing more money in a way. You think about it.
Well, that's what they wanted. Yeah, that's exactly what they were aiming for, though.
Dude, we're losing money. So it's a waste of the season to me. It was already a waste trying to boost his
Brian.
But then that's where it goes back to, like you said, man. This man should
go, bud. Yeah,
on draft
yeah, bud. You're good. You can go, Paul.
All right, Paul.
Paul, catch you later.
That's right, bud. Nope, you cut off. You did.
Yep.
All right, Paul. You can go, bud. You're good. We'll see you next weekend. All right, bro.
All right, fellas. So let me ask you then, who is let's just play a blame game. Who is responsible for Jimmy still being on the team?
Lynch. John Lynch, 100%.
That's why I showed that video. That's why I said, man, I don't know who gets knocked out like that. Drew know what I'm talking about.
I'm like, you don't understand. Like, that upsetted me so bad because I'm just like, I don't get this, man. I don't get what's going on. I don't get what's the hold up. What the whole thing is. Like Mav said, you should have been going draft day. Lynch is responsible for all of this. This man has kept him there for way too long, and he just, I don't know if he got like hope or belief or what you think is going to happen. But you talking about this trade value. from the time that the draft happened, you should have been gone because y'all drafted a quarterback. Y'all made these moves.
I wish
this quarterback.
I wish Ashley was still on here because that you brought it back. I said he should have been going draft day. Yes. Now the Patriots offered us a second round for him on draft night. We turned it down. Now, had we took that and sent him off, Mac Jones is no longer a Patriot.
And we would have had a Super Bowl.
Well, what do you believe Mac Jones would have been then?
He still would have been the starter.
We know it's you, Drew. Don't worry. We know it's you.
Drew, hold up. Drew, are you saying we should have took Mac?
No. Heck no.
Oh, okay.
But he's saying when we did the draft night, Mav was saying they offered us a second pick, right? And and they would have I would have never took Mac 10. I'm sorry. Even with his success at the end of the season, it wasn't enough for me. I give it to him. He stepped up at the end of the season. That man dropped weight, started playing better. Cool.
No, we still would have picked Trey. All right, let's say 1, 2, and 3 is just how it ends up. 1, 2, and 3. Lawrence, Wilson, and Trey. And now we give up. Now we give up Jimmy back to the Patriots. Now the Patriots never signed Mac. I'm about to call it that Mac 10.
Yes, and we
that's what I call him, Mac 10.
Tomlinson and DJ Jones if we senior.
Oh. She said, and we could have.
If we could have. Yeah. We could have. Yeah, could have. Sorry, could have.
But yeah, like I don't see okay, first off, I see that right there, that trade right there would have turned everything upside down because I don't see Justin Fields a Chicago Bear because they probably would have went after Matt Jones then. They probably would have got him. Justin Fields probably would have went down the line or it probably would have been a Panther. Dude, there was so many different ways that draft could have went after that trade if that trade was to happen between the Patriots and the 49ers. But again, when Drew put up that fucking video and I seen old boy get knocked out with one punch from the back of the head.
Wow.
Like, bro, I showed it on here too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Who's doing that? Is that Kyle or is that Lynch? Who getting knocked out like that? And who throwing the punch, bro? Like,
Kyle.
That's Kyle Shanahan getting knocked out and Lynch throwing that punch.
Yep.
Hey, and the girl is Jimmy Garoppolo running off like, oh my gosh.
That's John Lynch telling Kyle, I told you should have started Trey Lance since day one. Now I'm under the gun and I'm about to get fired because of you.
Dude, like her reaction was so slow, bro. She waited, she looked at him, then turned around and walked off. Like, bro, man, listen, all that. What it said? Oh, if limitation trade. Okay, go on the next comment.
No, my bad. I do gotta ask y'all a question though, because this is why I hit you up, Ryan. I was chilling, just minding my business, hanging with the kids and everything. All of a sudden, I was like, let me just check, man. I ain't been on all day. I checked Twitter. Please tell me this is some BS that I'm seeing that Debo getting traded.
Man.
Apparently, it's some news out there for real, bro. Like, this because
they said DK and Debo both jumped into the conversations of being traded. First of all, let's stop this. Let's stop this right now because this man just had an incredible season. Only way that you can think of getting him traded is what? Because of the rest of these wide receivers getting this large ass contracts. Now y'all figuring out, we got to double up pay on him.
I mean, Panama just said something on here about him too that they it's a conversation that's going to be talked about next coming days or whatever about that.
I think fans keep talking about how much Debo's asking for. I think that's what that's why everybody's even entertaining the fact that he should get traded.
I'm going to give him what he's asking for.
Exactly. If I got right.
It, like what y'all listening? Okay, listen. Y'all want to listen to the fans on it at the wrong time, but when we telling you what to do, they're like, no. Then they're like, oh man, that's asking too much. We should get rid of Debo. They was like, maybe we should. What the heck?
Give Debo. Okay, give Debo what he asking for. Then what do you do with Bosa? Because that money got to be cut somewhere, bro. You got I mean, Debo is going to make what Debo deserves. We already know that. He's going to make anywhere north of what we said, 25.
First of all, this is the thing. These other teams is overpaying half the wide receivers they got. So let's stop comparing. Oh, well, they got this, so now Debo needs to get this. Nah, let's go back to what a regular wide receiver pay is that's doing successful. Not this overpaying just to say, oh, we had the highest paid player. Nah, at this position. Because that's all that is. Like, come on. The Dolphins overpaid, what's the name of wide receiver so bad. The dude they took from, what's his name?
Talking about Will Fuller. Will Fuller?
Will Fuller? No, not Will Fuller. Who the other one?
Talking about Jalen Waddle?
Not okay. Maybe it's not the Dolphins. Who was it? Somebody. It's a wide receiver that got picked up that's way overpaid.
Christian Kirk.
Oh, it's Christian Kirk. Bro.
Yeah,
Christian Kirk.
With the Jaguars. The Jaguars.
That BS right there was just to say we can say we have one of the highest paid wide receivers. Tell me what Christian Kirk has done that you can say, oh, it amazes me that I had to pay him that much. So all that.
Okay, hold on now. Let me defend Christian for just a little bit. Let me defend him a little bit.
Ain't no defense.
No. Check this out. I'm gonna defend wide receivers, all wide receivers, just a little bit now. Not talking about their contract, but when people say what have they done, first let's look at their quarterback.
Kyler Murray.
I mean, let's look how many times Christian Kirk has really been on the field with Kyler versus DeAndre Hopkins. How many snaps is he taking? Is Kyler even looking his way, or is he running the routes that he's supposed to be running? We have to look at factor all of that.
All right, right there. Hold on, let me stop you real quick. Right, what you just said. Is he running the routes that he's supposed to be running? So that's not really on the quarterback's fault. That's that man's fault that you're not a good route runner. So the whole thing is, like I'm saying, even with your routes and your targets, you had Larry Fitzgerald at one point. You had D. Hopkins at another point. But no matter what, you still have to find another wide receiver. You're not throwing to just one wide receiver. He was supposed to be wide receiver number 2. And what amazing thing has he done that still surprised you at wide receiver number 2? So I can tell you a couple good plays that Brandon Ayuk done busted out on. I can tell you a couple good plays that other number 2s, Chase Claypool, has busted out on while they had Juju at number 1. I can tell you another couple players at number 2 that you can still remember highlight plays. This dude don't have that. He don't have that in him. I'm not about to pay him that much. And then you get another, okay, well, now we get Devontae. Devontae's worth it. I give him that. But they pay him extra. So everybody keep talking about, oh, these contracts going up. They got to give Debo. No, stick to what we're doing, and we would be straight. Not comparing to, well, they're paying them.
I get it. You looking at Devontae and stuff like that, like they already proven players. I get that, but you look at someone like Christian Kirk, who does not have the same amount of years that a guy like Devontae have in the league, and he still has a lot to show. He still has a lot more room to grow. While Devontae is going to be Devontae. Stephon Diggs is going to be Stephon Diggs. Like Tyreek Hill is going to be Tyreek Hill. They're at their ceiling to me. I don't see anything else they can do to even get any better than what they are already. Versus just quarterback play. That's about the only thing that you can really say at that point for those guys. Because who knows, Derek Carr, we already know Derek Carr is not going to do the same thing Aaron Rodgers would do. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, we can agree on that. But you're paying Christian Kirk, who is not even in the top 20.
I didn't kick you out, Drew.
Like top 5 wide receiver money.
I get that. But we gotta stop using that. What has he done when it comes to certain position? I feel like we have to look at the overall picture on it. I mean, I get what Drew is saying.
Sorry about that, guys.
You good? I get what Drew is saying. What has he done? You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, what could he have done had his quarterback, been looking for him a little bit better, or had his coach not had him run these certain routes, or
then we'll find out this season. We'll find out if he worth every little penny. Because guess what? It's gonna look stupid on them. And while we're trying to compare contracts of how to pay our players of what the other players is paid, and this dude has a failed season, and they're like, well, they pay him this much compared to our player who already has proven himself. You see what I'm saying? The pay.
Hold on though. If he does have a failed season, do we blame that on Trevor Lawrence?
Because so that's where I'm going.
No, because that's two different quarterbacks. You blame it on him. That's two different quarterbacks.
Mav, don't get me wrong. Mav, don't get me wrong. I completely get what you're saying. However,
I know you see the point.
I see your point. I'm more looking at the person who signed him versus the player himself.
And that's what's gonna make him. And that's the contract right there. Pretty much should be telling us, like, dude, are you really that good? Can we see if you can elevate a second-year player? So that's why they trying to. I feel like that's why he got that contract to come in and elevate. But you already have Marvin Jones on the team. He still ain't do nothing. He's a veteran. He's more of a veteran than Christian Kirk, and he didn't do anything. So, I mean, I guess Christian Kirk is a little younger, so he can grow with Trevor. I see why they gave him that contract, but at the same time,
overpaid.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait for that. You gotta wait for that.
And I'm telling you, ain't no wait. I'm about to tell you right now, and this is why I'm telling you. Watch the man's college.
It's okay, Paul. Don't worry about it, bud.
Watch the man's college highlights. I think he was overhyped, even when college came.
Kirk, yeah.
I think he was.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you about it being him being overhyped. Listen, I told y'all plenty of time, bro. Rondale Moore was on the board. I wanted Rondale Moore, and I think we went after IU. Yeah, I think we picked up IU.
Yeah, Matt. So you're saying you would have signed him for that amount of money?
No, I'm not saying I was going to sign up for that amount of money. I'm just saying. I understand. I understand why they gave him that amount of money. That's all I'm saying. I just understand the contract. That's all. I'm not saying I would. Like, listen, bro. I like Moneyball. If I could lowball the hell out of you and get you on that bit, bro, come on, baby. Come on.
Let's get Christian Kirk.
Listen, I wouldn't even. Would I even give that to Devontae? I mean, people would say I'm crazy if I didn't. But then again, that's just me.
The pay that he got, I'm saying you won't give to Devontae, but you got to understand why they gave it to Christian Kirk.
With that, I understand. I understand.
Crazy to me right now.
Hold on. I did say I was crazy, didn't I? Hold on now. You gotta say. I understand why that team.
Sell us on this. Please sell us some more.
I understand why that team.
Ryan, pitch in on this. Save this man.
You know what I'm saying? I understand why that team.
Hey, bro, you trying to sell eyes to a polar bear, bro? It ain't working.
I'm not trying to listen. I'm not trying to sell y'all on anything.
I feel like I'm getting hustled bad.
Right. I'm getting. Hey man, I'm getting bamboozled here.
How much Devontae got? For how long?
He got. I think they took over like part of his contract, right?
I got 5 minutes left, guys. I got about 5 minutes left.
All right, I'm not sure. He got a big amount. There we go.
He got a 5-year, $141.25 million contract.
There you go.
And what did Christian get?
Like I think it's like close to 80 something for 3 years.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Cali got what? State and Fed taxes or whatever, a luxury tax.
Christian Kirk got a 4-year, $72 million contract.
There you go. Because I remember whatever it was, they said at that point it made him the 3rd highest wide receiver,
and it included a $20 million signing bonus, $37 million guaranteed, and annual salary of $18 million a year, bro.
He ain't worth none of that.
And he's only had.
You know what? Before we say that.
I'm about to go outside, throw a football up in the air, and try to get me a contract.
Listen, I'm just saying, before we say he ain't worth it, bro, we're gonna revisit this. I know damn well I'm gonna revisit it because I want to see how he plays with Trevor. I want to see if he can elevate Trevor's game. Because if he can, then what do you say then? Is he still not worth that, or do you actually? I know you guys see what I'm trying to say. When
I get what you're saying, but this is what I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you right now. So
it's the money part. It's the money part.
This was going to happen this year because they're going to blame it the same thing they blamed on Trevor last year. So they're saying it's a money part. So this year he sucked with the Cardinals, and then he goes with Trevor. And then if he sucks with Trevor, then it's going to be they didn't elevate the offensive line enough, and Trevor kept getting tackled and sacked and ran through.
I mean, it doesn't even
excuse. Listen, it's an excuse.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter what their excuse is. the four of us on this panel right now that are talking about this, we're gonna revisit all this, and I'm gonna make sure that I watch this particular video to hear myself and exactly what I said.
And you're gonna be like, "Dang, I sounded crazy."
No, I'm gonna be like, "Damn."
Me and
I'm be
Ryan
like,
in the
"Damn."
corner cracking up, and
I even
Ryan
see
laughing at the top, talking about how you try to hustle us. And when
Mav,
the
you
season
know
come,
you're
I'm gonna tell you,
Mav,
you can't hustle a hustler.
Mav,
Go ahead.
you know you're justifying a Trent Baalke contract right now, right?
Listen. Like I said, I see why they made it for that team. I'm not talking about this shit. I'm just saying the money wise. Okay, I get it. Okay. That's the main thing people are going to talk about is that he's not worth that contract. Like Drew was saying, had he got anything less than that, I don't believe Drew would even be saying that he's not worth it. You see what I mean? So the money
he should have got like in the little 30s or 40s.
See what I'm saying? So if he get low 30s or 40s, then that conversation never talks about damn, his skills never comes in question because it's just like, oh, okay, well, damn, let's see what he can do over there. But
exactly.
The fact that
now I feel like that's his proven contract. Prove me that you're worth and that I'm going to give you this raise or give you this bonus that he got signed to 20 something. Prove it.
Well, see, obviously, he's already proven it to Baalke and the Jags to get that contract down there to get pulled away. So I'm just saying, let's see what they see. Let's just see what they see before we say he's not worth that.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, Mav, I'm glad you. Hey, Mav, I'm glad you agree with this. When you get back on Madden, you go get Christian Kirk, all right? And y'all want to see you play with him and do really good with him.
What is he still available? I'll go get his ass just for that.
Go get him. I don't care if he's available. He might be. He's gonna be the free agent right where he.
Listen, like Garoppolo, bro. I feel like people have put me on that pedestal to the point to where, oh, I'm a Garoppolo hater. To the point to where I don't play with that man on my game, bro. I sub his ass out.
Every 49ers fan does.
I have never played with Jimmy G. Bro.
Everybody.
You feel me? Even the ones that stick up behind for him don't play with him. So that's what I'm saying.
Listen, I can show you my screen right now, and I'm playing with Trey Lance.
Hey, hold on. Isn't Jimmy a Jaguar on our league?
Yes, he is.
Wait, y'all got a league now? What's going on here, man?
Yeah, he had me in the league. Okay. What you want to get on? You got the Xbox?
I do, but I still got the 2017 Madden, I think.
Oh.
So you're not even on the X series.
Nah.
We got to get you on the X series.
Yeah, I told you I refuse to buy Madden until they update their graphics.
They actually the graphics it's not better. Bad. Yeah,
the graphics the graphics is cool. It's the gameplay of how you can be running by yourself and then just trip when you get a wide open run. That's what it is for me.
There is no passing in that game no more, bro. Like all them long passes, they've all been taken away. Like for real, I can't even. Man, listen, you can't.
It almost felt like they were just updating the roster every year.
Hey, I feel you on that. I feel
that's all they was doing.
No change.
That's
all it was a change in jersey numbers and names on the back.
That's it. That's all it was.
But no, that's Drew, when I was like, nah. But I did that with that and my wrestling game. I gave up on my wrestling game for a while too.
Man. You know what, bro? I'm finna go pick up on wrestling game while we talking.
Hey, go get that new one. That new one.
You know what I'm talking about, bro. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when first off, when you going out for a streak, your wide receiver already got the damn defender beat like 5 yards up the hill. All you gotta do is lob that bitch and he gonna go get it. Madden 22, it's not long, bro. Listen, first off, this is what I can't stand. The ball hits his hand, but yet he pops it up in the air. And it goes like, dude.
80 yards.
I don't even see that happen in a real game.
It go 80 yards up.
Bruh. And give your whole team a chance for an interception.
Yeah, dude.
It done hit about 5 hands before the ball finally get caught. Like, really? Bruh.
Yeah, dude. I don't be mad.
Y'all good, gentlemen? Y'all good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, show off fame anyway.
Hey, but before we go, let's just go ahead and thank our watchers, thank all the viewers, everybody that tuned in today, and drop some comments, all the love, all the hate. We appreciate it. Whether it's love or hate, you were still watching. We love you too.
And think about it.
Hold on, if y'all can hear me, I can't hear none of y'all.
Uh-oh. You can't hear us?
I can't hear none of y'all. And Ryan said we was about to leave. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all know sign language? All right, so if y'all can hear me, I'm going to catch up with y'all later.
All right, man.
And we can do this some more. Mav, I hit you up. We just got advanced, I think, on the week. So
man, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go jump on that right now.
I cannot. I will text you though.
All right,
I gotta go jump on that right now.
See y'all later.
Later.
Later, fellas. Later, guys.
All right, man.
Later. All right. That was the Faithful Empire. Thank you very much for tuning in to our show for the weekend, UK. And of course, I want to do the comments. And yes, Platform 246. I knew who that was. That was Lawrence. I know he must have changed it, but Lawrence from my very first show ever made up. Yes. That's the reason why he commented about that he started the show. He's the original creation. Yes. He was the first guy I ever got into my show. So, the other one was Pam and the Queen. Ryan and the panel. I always would love that. I always would love that comment. Thank you, Pam and the Queen. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, and of course, Paul, because he went off, his computer was messed up. So, he just always thank you guys for having me. So, I want to thank you very much. And of course, I want to go to, let's see here, where am I at? Okay. Of course, first one of my guys, I want to thank Maverick, Ron, and Drew coming here to do your thing, guys. All right. Even though Drew was about an hour late, he made it. It's all good. So, and of course, I want a big shout out to Mike and Peter. All right. Hopefully, Mike will see you tomorrow night. Hopefully. All right. And our show will be at around 9 p.m., 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Whatever, because I got to work on Monday nights. So I'll probably set it up and hopefully we'll get it going by at least 8:30, quarter of, or 9 p.m., one of those two, or one of those three, I mean. So, and of course, I want to thank the UK guys. All right. Thank you so much, Nick Welsh, for doing your thing, man. All right. And of course, thank Paul for coming in here, do your thing too, man. And Ashley, a little late as usual, but he made it. It's all good. And of course, a definitely shout out to Shank Club, and of course Nick Nick Cork, and what he does. All right, and he got me started on this thing, like I always said before. So, basically, I'm going to go out with a bang like I always do, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night live if it happens, and pray to God it happens, because I know damn well I want it to happen, no matter what. So, all right. Well, thank you very much. And we're going to be out here. Let me see here. Let me do it right. I know I messed it up a little bit here like I always do, but it's okay. Nobody's perfect. So, keep the faith. Never lose hope. Later on, guys. Later.